Sorry, there's XP smoothie going around, boys. We got another batch here.
No, I'm just stupid.
And then the last one, Josh, because you already said you disagree with this, but Gandalf the Wizard, sir, he is called the Wizard. He is a fucking wizard. He's got the robe and everything.
Gandalf is not a wizard.
How dare you? How dare you insult
Isaiah,
all the tokens? I don't know. Yeah, explain to me why you don't think it is.
Should I explain?
One of you two.
It's fine. I've been speaking very little this episode, so the problem with Gandalf is that we never see Gandalf cast, like, that's not true. He casts the light spell and he shatters a rock and he summons some eagles, but and I guess he blows up Saruman's staff, but at no point do we actually see Gandalf cast spell. He also casts daylight. I'm actually getting to the point. I would argue that Gandalf is a druid. Like when you think of what he actually does, and I've only seen the movies, full disclosure, but he parts the clouds, skywrite / daylight. He creates light. He shatters a boulder. He summons animals. He's got an animal companion in Shadowfangs, or Shadowfax, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Is Gandalf a druid?
No. I don't think Gandalf's a druid either.
Well, again, this is where it's like in D&D terms, maybe, because like people also like in media, they're like, yeah, druids are wizards and sorcerers. It's all the same like thing.
No. So in D&D terms, I don't think Gandalf fits any of them is the problem. And the reason I don't think Gandalf fits any of them is because, yes, as Isaiah just pointed out, and as I said before, there is no hard codified rules to what Gandalf's magic is, or any of the wizards in Lord of the Rings. All the wizards just do shit. They just do shit, right? There is a scene where him and Saruman have a little like wizardy duel in the tower, and there's a little bit of like throwing each other around with some fucking like, I don't know, beefed up mage hand or telekinesis or something.
Magical force.
Yeah. The reason though, the big thing with Gandalf that I think just disqualifies him from any D&D equivalency at all is because Gandalf's basically a fucking deva.
True.
Because
are you saying angels can't be wizards, Josh? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because angels are angels. Because for those who aren't aware, which is probably a small minority, but you know, in the Lord of the Rings lore, the wizards, there is only 5 or 6. There's Gandalf the Grey, 5. Saruman the White, Radagast the Brown. Oh, there's 5. Yeah, those 3.
Radagast, you mean?
Radagast the Brown, sorry. Radagast the Brown. And then the 2 blue wizards who are mentioned but never seen, and we get no names for them. So there
isn't there a thing that they go to the east and then they like fuck around and never come back?
I don't even think we know that. I don't think we know basically nothing about the blue wizards other than that they exist. And there's 2 of them.
Yo, Amazon, why don't you do a show about that? Come on,
that would
man.
be interesting. But anyway, there are 5 wizards in Lord of the Rings. So you already have a problem in that there's this weird dark, like Sith Lordian, there's rules about how many there can be, which is not a thing with D&D at all. Obviously, like anyone who's a big enough fucking nerd can wizard up. But also, their powers are literally divinely gifted because the wizards in Lord of the Rings are like ancient beatific beings sent down to protect the planet, and they're some of the oldest beings on said planet, which is why, if you're those who have seen the Lord of the Rings movies, when Gandalf quote unquote dies, spoilers for Lord of the Rings, I guess, when Gandalf quote unquote dies and he comes back, he's the White Wizard. And the reason he's the White Wizard is because Saruman turned evil and the wizards are not allowed to be evil, so Saruman got demoted and then Gandalf got promoted to his spot and became the White Wizard because the White Wizard is more powerful than the Grey Wizard. All of this bullshit is so incredibly not D&D wizards in any way. This is like weird demigod angel power things. Then they don't even cast spells. The thing about Gandalf is he doesn't cast spells. He just throws out magical bullshit at random and stuff just fucking happens. You know what I mean?
So here's the thing. He does cast spells.
Like, he sort of does, but he also sort of just does stuff.
Kinda, yeah, because we've seen him use somatic, verbal, and material components.
I don't remember him doing any verbal anything other than shouting.
Whenever he summons the eagles, he whispers an incantation.
Yeah, he has to whisper to the moths or whatever.
He also uses the crystal in his staff to cast spells.
The crystal, yeah, the crystal like glows and shit, so that one's like sure.
I think at one point we see him using like hand signs of some sort.
I still doubt, like, the way he does magic it all seems like divine intervention or something close to it rather than any kind of like spell casting really. And then
I mean, he could be he could be a Circle of the Land druid. They're literally the ones that they get like a bunch of features that are exactly like the wizard, like arcane recovery and
either. Like I don't think he applies to anything. I just don't think you can apply him to D&D logic. I just don't think he fits.
I don't know. I honestly gotta disagree. The more I think about it, the more I feel like Gandalf is a druid.
If any of them are a druid, it would be Radagast.
He's also a druid.
Okay,
I kind of think they all are, because like a big thing that we saw with Saruman as well is like weather control was a big, like weather and animal control. He sends the flock of familiars after the fellowship, and he creates the blizzard.
Yeah, the blizzard. He's literally he's like chanting on top of his
weather
tower.
Controlling spells though. It's not like that's what druid only stuff.
Yeah, but that's not like their bread and butter, right? Like druids are about like nature and the weather, and there is like, as much as there is like a more outwardly deific religious aspect to the wizards of Lord of the Rings, there also is this nature-based like the gods are, you know, the gods created the world, but the gods are the world kind of thing. And I know that that's not how it is, but
that
it has
nature
that feel.
that nature stuff has a very divine bent to it.
Yeah, but I would argue that druids in 5e are, I would call them divine casters. I would call them faith-based casters.
I think they are. Actually, it says it like in their the box text.
No.
Like, I mean, no.
There's like, maybe in terms of, it might say that in some flavor shit, but like there's no hard distinction between arcane or divine magic in 5e.
What do you mean? Yeah, it specifically says
there is nothing in a spell that says this is a divine spell, this is an arcane spell.
Because one will say only druids and clerics can cast this, and one will say only wizards, sorcerers, and warlocks will cast it. Like,
yeah, but then you'll get like a weird subclass that steals from one of the others. Or there's no hard-coded split between the two in 5e. There might have been in older editions, but there definitely is not in 5e.
Just because it's not hard-coded doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And while I would want it to be hard-coded, because as I keep saying, codify things, it absolutely exists. Like, all of the flavor text supports it.
In flavor, sure.
Also, wouldn't oh my god, now wouldn't Saruman be like a wizard who then dipped warlock after realizing, oh man, this magic power is way easier to use?
I mean, I guess that's not really, that's neither here nor there. I just
no. Because as far as I'm aware, he doesn't get any more powerful from Sauron. He just more like enters into a business agreement with Sauron.
Yeah.
Like, I guess Sauron gives him Sauron. He's in a business. Sauron.
He's in a business deal.
He does give him like materials to use, but like at no point does he like give him power. Because if he did, when whatever the actual god of Lord of the Rings disowns Saruman, no, the good one.
Oh, I don't, Mega God.
Yeah, when he like turns his back on Saruman, his magic just stops working. So.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he loses his juice.
It's been a while. I gotta rewatch The Lord of the Rings.
I just do not think you can apply D&D logic to the Lord of the Rings situation. They're just too weird. I think they just are their own thing. And I don't think you need to apply D&D logic to everything.
No, you don't have to.
There's certain magic systems where it just doesn't work, you know? It just doesn't fit.
Yeah, I agree.
So I kind